Hello, I'm Bob Giraldi, Chair of the Live Action Short Film Graduate Department at the School of Visual Arts in New York City. And welcome to The Future is Short, the life, death, and rebirth of the short film. Today we have joining us former students Ed Hellman and Stephen Tong. So let's jump to the experience. You want to talk a little bit about the experience? Are you happy with your film?
I'm very happy with it. It was pretty much a surreal and amazing experience making the film. It was the first time that I'd been on any film set, whether I was a PA or directing, where it was almost entirely harmonious. 95% awesome. And everyone pitched in, everyone gave 100%, and it was amazing.
I'm not that satisfied with my film, but I really appreciate this experience because from zero to making film, I never make any films before and not even a home video. So I just feel like this is a very good experience for me to learn. And also helping other classmates, for example, like your movie, this is the first time I worked as a camera assistant. So that helped me to find my spot, find my position in this industry. And I think this is a very good thing to do.
Well, Stephen, do you think it seems that you're not totally happy or satisfied with your movie? I'm not too sure many filmmakers ever are. Mm-hmm. But do you think you ever will be? Are you going to go back? I don't think
so.
Are you going to go back and do anything to improve it in your eyes, or is it done? That experience is finished?
Definitely, I will keep learning because I just feel like my next movie will be better. Definitely. But I just feel like based on the experience I got from my first movie, I will know what I should learn more, what I didn't do right, and what I should improve next time. So this is exactly the meaning of my first movie. But I will never give up on being a director.
I think the flip side for me is that I'm satisfied with my film, but it keeps kind of growing into different projects that are kind of connected to it. So I did a music video that was connected to that story. I started writing other shorts that were connected to it, and then decided to just kind of turn the whole thing into a feature, which I've been writing. And I'm working on a web series that's involving some of the characters kind of tangentially. So it's kind of like the roots of a tree that are leading out.
I might add that Ed's movie is a little strange in that it's the story of a ventriloquist and his beloved sock puppet and their journey through life and death. You want to give us a little more?
Yeah, I mean, it's about a ventriloquist's puppet that attempts to continue their act after the human counterpart has died and starts to kind of realize what its own purpose was without its quote-unquote parent, which is exactly what I was going through at the time of applying to the school, where SVA was the first thing that I had done without really my parents' supervision at all. And I was turning 30 and about to get married, and I was at this point where I was trying to take control of my own life. And the story for me, even though it's a very odd story, is about something that's a product of a creator, whether it's a human or it's something artistic, and what happens after the creator is gone, and that creation is left on its own to decide whether it's going to follow what its parents wanted or has its own dreams.
In the competition at the end of the year, Ed's film, Retire for the Evening, won second prize and was actually a big hit. It's an extraordinary film. And Stephen, your film is nonetheless just as strange in many ways. A coming-of-age story of a young man who, for whatever reasons that we come to find out, likes walking around with high heels.
Yes, but it's not based on my personal story, though.
It's not based on personal story. But isn't every movie that young people make for the first time a bit autobiographical?
Yeah, because I think when we are trying to write a script, the best resort is yourself. You got to explore yourself, and then so that you can write a story. And I think that's very interesting. The story is actually, when I was young, I really want to try my mom's high heels, but my mom would beat me. Asian, they are very conservative. I kind of get traumatized, so I think this kind of little secrets stay in my heart for a long time. So when I came to the school, they asked me to explore ourselves, to write a story. I just feel okay, this is it. This is a story I definitely should write it, and I want to show it to my parents.
You won't show it.
I will.
You will
I
show
want to show it. And they are in the film festival. They were in the film festival.
Oh, they were there that evening.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
And were they?
They
I'm
like
sure
it.
they were proud. Did they like it?
They like it, but they just don't want to talk about it afterwards. Like the meaning.
It's kind of strange how it works with autobiographical films because I had the idea for a project that basically ends with one character dying, having a sock puppet on his hand, and the puppet still is kind of alive. And I realized, well, that's the most interesting part of the movie. And then after writing it and looking at it and looking at who I casted and that they kind of looked like me, and it started to come out what was going on in my head at the time, and I had no idea, you know.
So you changed your story based on the cast?
Well, lots of it changed actually due to the cast, but I just meant that I had no idea that it was autobiographical until later. But yeah, there was one of the main characters. I had basically written to almost every puppeteer and ventriloquist that I could find on Facebook or emails just to try to get my audience before I even made the film, because I thought, well, it's a group effort, so maybe they'll lend a hand or be interested, which is where I got one of the puppeteers. But I got an email from a famous puppeteer, and she said, I want to be in the movie. Do you have a part? And I said, yes. And then I wrote a part for her, which turned out to be the best part. And then she couldn't do it, and she sent me to her friend, who's also a great ventriloquist, and she's the person that I've been meeting with every week and working a web series with.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that most times these movies, they replace your therapist.
My dad's a therapist.
And your dad liked the movie?
Oh yeah, he loved it. I think it explained a lot.
It's a therapy. It's definitely a therapy. Like the dark secret in your heart, you just definitely get a platform to show it.
I mean, I was really shy growing up, and I think directing in itself is my way of dealing with, it's like I'm allowed to be in charge. I'm allowed to tell people what to do. I'm prepared. I know what I'm going to say, and it's very therapeutic.
Just like the other kind of art form, which is expression yourself in a different way.
Okay, that's a little bit of what you've done. What will you absolutely never do? For instance, I'll try very hard never to raise my voice or yell at talent on the set in front of other actors or crew or whoever. What about you guys? What would you never do?
Never be a control freak. Don't try to be everything on set. For example, like I was trying to steal my producer's job, trying to find the crew members, which turns out to be they are not that good. And then they make some mistakes, so it turns out to be I gotta fix it in the post a lot. So I just feel like if you hire someone, trust them, because making a movie is a teamwork. And director, you are a leader, but you are not trying to like intervene their jobs. You just need to supervise them and see whether the people they bring in match your vision, or are you guys sharing the same goal. That's it. And then leave it to them to finish their job.
I think that's right on. That's probably what most filmmakers make the mistake of doing, because it's such an odd thing to be doing, making art not locked away in your room, brooding. And I think to ignore the fact that it's a group effort, you lose so much of the magic. I got everyone together at the first day of shooting, and I said, I trust myself and my abilities, but I believe in what we as a group can create will be better than what I had planned. Because of saying that, I got a lot of great responses, and it was a really harmonious set. At the same time, keeping everyone accountable is a very important part of it. So you have to trust everyone. It's always a struggle to be aggressive for me.
If you took a poll, I think you'd see most young filmmakers or first-time filmmakers are probably petrified of directing talent. And especially in this program that you're giving professional actors who have performed in full-length feature films and short films and commercials that work a lot. And you're on the set with a crew that's professional, and certainly a DP, director of photography, that is professional. Surrounded by all these professional people, you're probably the only non-professional on the set, yet you're the captain of the ship. What was it like directing these actors who have been directed by many, many directors before you?
I learned a lot from Bob. I learned a lot from these courses. They just tell us to use their experience. I remember I directed a kid, and then after the whole day, I asked him, so far, which director you like best? He's like, you. I said, why? Because you always remind me of the story that happened on me before, to get that kind of emotion on me. And I think that's really helped. And that's exactly what I learned in the class. I'm not that freaking out on set, am I? What's that?
No, you were good.
You worked on each other's films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And Stephen, it was like his first time on set, and he was such an essential part of the process.
What about you? Are you intimidated in any way?
I love directing. I think it's when I feel most at ease. I just had to do a lot of notes beforehand, and I had to rehearse a lot, and I found that by finding the actors, what actually happened to them in real life, I ended up changing parts of the story. That was a big part of it. I think that as long as you keep everyone accountable, it allows you to really focus on the actors. And the hardest part is to stick with the actors and not drift over and say, well, I want to do this shot and take over other people's jobs.
Good. Where do you think your break is going to come from?
You.
Okay.
True, that's true.
That's something you should ask of your instructors anyway. You know, we always have. But where do you think? You have any ideas?
It's always right around the corner and just out of sight. I'm working on a web series with Carla Rhodes, who's the ventriloquist that was in my movie. We are just really great creative partners, it turns out, and complement each other well. And I have a lot of high hopes for that series, which she has a lot of comedian friends and kind of celebrities and musicians that are very interested in the project. And so maybe that'll be the big break, or maybe it won't happen for 20 years.
What about you, Stephen?
I've been working a lot as AC because I was a photographer before I came here, and then I always trust in land-based media. That's why I chose film as an art form. And then I just start working after school. Even in school, I work in many other classmates' movie, which is very helpful for me to like understand what I'm capable with. And then after graduation, start to build my network. I think working in this industry is all about network. Because who you know, who will get you jobs, during this process, you just keep becoming better and better and hope to get bigger and bigger gigs.
One of my problems when I was kind of taking a hiatus from film before this program, I was separated from the film community, so I made a big effort to not only spend a lot of time with my classmates, but also contact almost all of the speakers that came to class afterwards and emailed them, and I've become close with a lot of them since the program. I had them all on Facebook. It was a big step for me, becoming an adult.
So it's true what they say. It's a relationship business.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to have people that you can go to and count on.
And you will definitely get some because filmmaking is like a teamwork. You met a lot of people on set, so it's...
Yeah, if you're professional and even if you screw up royally, it seems like if you take responsibility for it and are professional and nice, people remember that.
What about the idea that you don't become a director? Like I've heard you recently say that you were thinking about trying to be an AD, the assistant director, which you're probably very good at and you liked. And Stephen, I know you're a marvelous cinematographer. Is there a chance that you'll not be a director, but you'll still remain in the film community in another category?
I spent a long time saying I'm going to be a filmmaker and not really knowing what that was. And that was very intimidating at the same time. So I'm just trying to open doors and think, well, this is what I'm doing now, and everything that I do, I'll grow from, and what I do next will build off what I'm doing now. So any AD work that I do, which I really enjoy, is a direct result of what I've done as a director. And I enjoy doing some art direction. It all is connected. I think I've moved past being nervous about not knowing where the future is taking me.
Good, so you're not thinking that you have to get on that plane to get to Hollywood and get that movie in the next couple of months or you're failed.
If you know what plane that is, then I will make it to that plane, but otherwise, no.
No, I'm afraid I don't know.
Okay.
I'll never know. We'll never know. It just, like you said, the break could be right around the corner and you don't know, and it's some little project, some web series, some small music video, some inexpensive commercial, you know, and then all of a sudden, like we're seeing today on television, that Thai commercial is just taking the web by storm. It's just a marvelous piece of work. One piece opens the door.
Yes.
What about you?
I think times changed. We have YouTube, Vimeo, all that kind of platforms. Everybody can be a director. So to me, I want to be like something that irreplaceable. It's maybe it's because of my vision. It's maybe because of my skill. So I'm trying to like be a cinematographer first with my unique vision. So if the people can see that in me, I will get a lot of chance to work on set, and then we'll keep on working on my own script, try to learn from our director how to direct. And definitely at the end, I will try to direct again.
I must tell you both that I admire you, and I loved the year we spent together, and I absolutely adored both your movies. I really did. I liked the process. I liked how you both worked in the process and got more and more involved and more passionate. I liked the chances you took. I know both movies are strange, but that's good, and especially for short filmmaking. Stephen's movie is called Healing. Again, Ed's movie is called Retire for the Evening. They're extraordinary. I want to thank you both for sharing some thoughts with us. Anything you could leave with, let's assume our listeners are thinking about maybe trying to change their lives through making a film. Anything you can leave with them?
Don't be afraid of spending too much time in changing your life, because if you still have the ability to change your life, do it.
I was making movies since I was in fourth grade, and I made several features in high school and in college. Until I went to this program, it was like night and day of what I could do. So I think everyone should always try to make a movie if they can make a movie, and keep experimenting and playing with the art form. But if you can find good teachers or places to learn, it totally changes what you can do.
And you will never regret talking to Bob Giraldi.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's this edition of The Future is Short, the life, death, and rebirth of the short film. Thank you.